Hello and good day. This is Aaron Goldberg. I'm with the Ziff Davis Enterprise Market Experts Group. And we're here today to talk about the issues around Windows 7 migration, and today the question of moving to either new systems or retrofitting Windows 7 on existing systems. It's a big question people have, but there are a number of common issues that you need to look at whether or not you're taking the retrofit path or the new systems path. And the first thing that we find you have to do, regardless of which decision you make, is to undertake a Windows hardware readiness assessment. You need to understand which of your existing PCs are capable of running Windows 7 and how to leverage those going forward. Now, in many cases, if you have a large number of existing PCs that are Windows 7 capable, you may opt to retrofit in place. If you don't, you may opt for more new systems. It's really a decision you have to make going forward. The one thing I will bring up is if you have a large base of older PCs, their failure rates are much higher than newer equipment, and it may be a good way to get those old machines out of your inventory by using a Windows 7 upgrade to remove them and migrate the users to modern equipment. Also, it's important, even after you do your hardware readiness assessment, really look at the information with a very critical eye. While some systems might be capable, it may not make sense to upgrade them in place. For example, if your workforce is highly distributed and you can't do the upgrades remotely, you may have to send staff, which can be very, very expensive. It may make the ROI kick over to new systems. Also, do all administrators have user rights and they installed a lot of personal software? This could make the migration more difficult and may point you to using a service provider who has experience with a myriad of end-user driven applications. And then finally, do you have enough staff resources? As we all know, IT organizations are charged with driving their business forward. Do you want to divert resources that may meet that goal and have them undertake the upgrade and the migration to Windows 7? So as we look at it, there's some learning curve issues that kind of drive this. Can you justify and can you cost justify investing your own staff resources? If things come up, are they going to be an annoyance that can be easily handled? Are they going to create a major problem? This may argue for having more experienced service providers handle some aspects of your migration. And what we've also seen is using partners as migration resources is being done more than ever before because of the smaller IT staffs today. And also, I've talked about the application issues, but the application issues have dramatic impact. If you have a user base that's had the ability to install a lot of their own software, that have a lot of their own files on their business machine, you may find that using a service partner helps you get over the hump of dealing with a lot of these applications. We're also finding that one of the arguments for the new hardware side of things is that if you have new hardware, if it uses the corporate approved applications only and you've taken the administrator privileges away from the end user, you can limit the amount of personal software that could be a governance, compliance, or security risk. So it's something else you want to consider here. But as we consider new machines versus existing machines, a lot of times the argument comes down to capital expenses. Some organizations don't like to invest that, some do. But it's important to look at how do the numbers really work. For example, if we look at the price of an average desktop in the $500 to $700 range, if we're going to run into 2 or 3 or 4 staff hour migrations from old equipment, if we're going to run into a lot of non-compliant applications, if we're going to run into a lot of non-compatible applications, pretty soon the numbers flip over to the new machines pretty quickly. So going forward, do look at your ROI, but look at it in a real-world manner, not just the cost of hardware versus the existing value of your inventory. So what do you do and how do you make your choices? Well, first, more than anything, whether you choose to use existing equipment or migrate only on new equipment, one of the common features we're finding today in our research is that more and more IT departments are relying on partners. They need the expertise, and they want the experience of people that have done this 100, 200, 80 times and know how to get it done in effective fashion. Because the reality is, we want the migration to happen so we can get the benefits of Windows 7. We don't want to get trapped in the migration process. So in closing, there's an important point I think you need to take from this, and that's begin with the end in mind. How do you get to Windows 7 as your primary and hopefully sole platform for PCs? Because the benefits in management, security are so compelling that we want to make this migration. So speed to completion matters. You want to be effective in how you get there and how quickly you get there, and that means limit the interruptions. You want to leverage experience where you can to keep the process moving. And you want to make sure that you know what's out there on those machines so we can keep them secure, so you can manage them more effectively and drive that business benefit of IT. It's Aaron Goldberg from the Ziff Davis Market Experts Group. Have a great day.